All right, welcome everyone. We have a special guest with us today, Mr. Terance Schmidt. Thank you, sir, for being here.
Oh, thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
And we're going to do things a little differently. We're going to start off with a session of sorts so you can see how Terrence does his magic. And then we'll have a regular episode where I'll ask some questions, and then we'll close it with Terrence giving you, the viewer or listener, a little hypnotic gift of sorts. And just as a little context for for me running into Terrence, it was in Mike Mindell Hypnosis Academy, and they're having this special thing about being a confident hypnotist. And they had these breakout rooms, and then Terrence was in one of the breakout rooms. And we're just supposed to just talk and let our, specifically we call it the Nuvi language, but we won't go into that here. We're just supposed to like practice saying words back and forth. And I remember, Terrence, you got me in such a hypnotic loop just by your presence. And it just it's soon like our subconscious minds start just developing this rhythm back and forth and just felt natural and fun. I was like, well, that dude's different than most hypnotists I know. So here we
Yeah,
are.
yeah.
We just got a good vibe from you, I guess.
Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you, Ryan. I appreciate it. I enjoyed
Yeah.
meeting you as well.
And
Yeah.
now we want to do a little, you call it a practice session? I don't know what you want to
Just a
call it.
little short thing, maybe 10, 20 minutes, just to
Cool.
give you viewers a taste of what it looks like when I'm doing this weird thing I do. It's most of what I do is taken from Timothy September's Enter the Loop program.
Mm.
It runs a little bit different than the typical, put out your fingers, watch them
Mm.
come together, and now go deep in trance. And
Yeah.
as you float deep in trance and you experience what you're experiencing now, you'll begin to notice that there are resources you have that can begin to come into your life in wonderful ways. And I wonder how quickly you can start to notice these resources showing up in your life now. That kind
I
of
mean,
stuff.
but that's good stuff, man. I
Oh, it's
mean,
great stuff.
yeah. So
It's
do you
great
find
stuff. That's not the
yourself?
end.
I don't. Yeah, I don't mean to like. I know this is like a session of sorts, but I'm just curious. Do you find yourself balancing both the enter the loop stuff and hypnosis, or do you find yourself leaning mainly into ETL these days?
Oh, Enter the Loop is hypnosis, but
Yeah.
it's centered in the quadrant of clean language.
Mm.
So I view hypnosis as being four major quadrants. Direct hypnosis, sleep now.
Mm.
Indirect hypnosis, I wonder how quickly you can begin
Mm.
to just sleep. NLP, see this version of you that's different. So now go into this version of you. Boom, you've got the resource.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
there's clean language.
Mm.
I'll give you, are you familiar with clean language?
I am. Yeah. So
Uh-huh.
yeah, let's begin. Let's see what you
Yeah.
got.
Yeah, first I'd like to ask, do you have some small thing that you'd like a little help with that you don't mind having on camera?
Yeah, I don't know about small, but for me, it's that balance of being a healer
Mhm.
and running a business, like making a profit from it.
Ah,
There's some kind of, yeah, yeah, I feel there's some kind
hmm.
of conflict. And then for those that are listening right now, I'm moving my hands back and forth in front of my chest, and then Terrence is mirroring what I'm doing, and then just drawing to light this conflict I feel between being a healer and the
Yeah,
healers I see in the past just do it like these gurus, Jesus, whatever you want to call them. They just
mhm.
do.
I just do.
And the universe provides for them. And I want to have that faith. And at the same time, I scroll Facebook
Mhm.
and I see these, I'm the best hypnotist in the world and I got a yacht and five Lamborghinis. I'm like, well, I think it'd be kind of fun to have a yacht and five Lamborghinis.
Sure, sure.
But again, we go back to my two hands in front of me
Yeah,
is this conflict, and I feel it in my chest. This
conflict
conflict that goes back and forth,
goes back.
and it's like it wants to heal and love and just allow the universe to take care of my needs versus this drive to want to make an abundant amount of money where I can just use money as toilet paper.
Okay, so you've got this wanting to heal. And when there's wanting to heal, like one of the gurus like Jesus just healing people and the universe provides. And then there's this drive, want to make enough for 5 Lamborghinis and a yacht and use money like toilet paper.
Right.
Yeah, and there's a conflict. And do that again, would you? Those two hands moving back and forth.
Yeah, we can even increase the amount of war they have. Just pure
Yeah.
love that heals just by people thinking on the name or just
Ah,
believing and they're just healed. And then I
yeah.
turn around and I manifest and my coffee's already made for me in the morning and the omelet just makes itself, just
Yeah,
appears out of nowhere like Star Trek.
yeah.
Just everything is in harmony and I sing and the birds come to my window. And then on the other hand, it's me smoking a big fat cigar
Uh-huh.
and having anything I want in the world because I can buy anything in the world.
Yeah, you can have anything in the world you want because you can
Yeah.
buy anything in the world you want. What does this, and do me a favor, just hold those hands out. Yeah. What is buy anything, have anything, this abundance, know about healing? Does it mind healing?
Um, yeah, so the abundant hand here I'm holding up doesn't mind that it heals people.
Huh.
It feels like it's a hypocrite though,
It's a hip
because it could just use all of its money and help other people and then live at net zero.
live at net zero. Huh.
Right. And it doesn't quite want that. It just wants to accumulate wealth.
It wants to accumulate
And
wealth.
yeah, so if it can help people, great.
Huh. Okay, so if it can help people, great. It wants to accumulate wealth, doesn't want to live in net zero.
Mm.
This healer part. Huh.
Yeah, the healer part wants to believe in just, I create my own reality.
You create
And
your own.
by focusing on love and light, there'll be equality in the world. There won't be assholes that have $500 million yachts
Huh.
polluting the environment, causing wars. It'll
Huh.
just be peace. There won't be this dichotomy of rich
Okay.
living next to poor. It'll just be
So,
perfect, everyone healed and then enlightened.
all right. So, do you really
You
believe?
said something small, right? So,
Oh, yeah, there you go. Easy peasy, right? So,
yeah,
what do you really believe about all this conflict now?
my belief shifts to the right of the healer that just can believe that all my needs will be met, the universe has my back,
Uh-huh.
and that I don't need a yacht. And
Ah,
yet, this other part of me still wants a yacht.
once again.
Yeah.
All right. Now, if you step back from that and let it just go out there a little bit,
Hmm.
and you just let it go there, and look at those two pieces, wanting a yacht, wanting to be this selfless healer that lives at net zero and the universe takes care of. What do you notice from back there?
Duality, that they're two separate things.
Ah,
They're not one.
they're not one. And if you go out a little further, what do you notice is the commonality?
The commonality,
Yeah.
even from a further distance, they feel distinct and separate, as if black and white, light and dark.
Black and white, light and dark. And what do you know about black and white, light and dark? And what do they have to do with the big picture?
The big picture, I don't know.
Hmm. What do they have to do with conflict?
They're at odds against each other. One is a striving
Uh huh.
and
That's
the other is just is. And then and I'm, for those listening, I'm looking at my right and left hand and feeling them out. I'm visualizing and feeling. I'm feeling what it's like to be a healer and be able to just allow the universe to support me in its own way. And on the left hand, it feels like a dream, and where it's like, mm, it feels fun and exciting.
ah,
The one on the right feels light and love, and the one on the left feels like fun and exciting and fast.
all right. So light and love and fun and exciting and fast. And what's the relationship between light and fun?
Yeah, I don't know, man. Like
Ah,
light is just being at presence, and the fun is doing,
yeah. And when,
planning, and like just saying I can create um this rich life at the expense of something. It feels like something
ah,
has to be, someone has to suffer in order for me to have a yacht,
ah,
versus more people are healed if I'm just light and allow the universe.
ah, I see. Someone has to suffer?
Right.
Ah,
It's a belief of mine that sits in there that
so,
in order for someone to become rich, someone else needs to suffer.
ah, for someone to become rich, someone else needs to suffer.
Mm.
Huh. And if someone were to become rich without someone else needing to suffer, how would that happen?
That's the mystery.
Huh. How many people would you have to help?
And then the pause is just allowing it to process.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we do a lot of that.
Yeah. And the idea is, yes, in my head, I get it. I get the idea that I can help people.
Ah, in your head,
And yet, how can I help people that can't afford to be helped?
that's a great question. How can you help people who can't afford to be helped? What does that have to do with this podcast?
That's a peculiar question.
Isn't it?
Um, the podcast is for me to explore. So what happened is, since I died in 2011, I've
Huh.
tapped into this incredible place of potentiality where I was no one and everyone at the same time, where I was nowhere and everywhere at the same time. It's just an incredible place of power and peace. And so since then, I've been finding my way to tap into that without having to die to get there.
Right.
And then so by interviewing different people in the hypnosis community and otherwise
Yeah.
about what our subconscious is, and I'm learning more about the superconscious.
Wow. That's amazing stuff. And when
Yeah.
you're learning all this and you're putting it into your podcast, how much are you charging your listeners?
I'm not making any money off of this.
Oh, so you're not charging your listeners and yet you're giving them something.
Right. So on this,
And
doing the
how is
podcast
that
feels like the right hand, the light
how is
healing
that
hand.
affecting? So what does that have to do with helping people who can't afford?
Well, that's the right hand. That's the
Ah,
Jesus-like nature. The left hand, meanwhile, screaming is like, you're not going to get a yacht by doing shit for free.
ah,
And yet the right hand says, well, there's people that can't afford to pay for your yacht that need the help. And yet, maybe in their life, down the road they might be able to if they got the help.
Ah.
But the thing is, how do I help them now to get where they're going to help me in the future?
Huh. Yeah. So how do you get? I'm curious. You keep saying yacht.
The what?
You keep saying yacht. Let me ask you a question. When you have a yacht,
Yeah.
what does that give you?
Nothing. Like I have no desire in my heart to actually have a yacht. I love
Okay.
going out on the water. The
Yeah.
yacht to me is the epitome of excess.
Okay.
Okay, I could say a
So,
spaceship instead. I could be a
oh,
Bezos or
okay.
yeah,
So,
and say I
Ryan,
just want my own
Ryan,
space. Yeah.
what do you really want? If it's not a yacht or fine
Mm,
luxury sports cars,
right.
when it comes to material, what do you really
Yeah,
want?
they are material things that I do want. Like I want to be able to just pay off the house. I do want
Ah,
to
you
just
want to you want to
upgrade the
live in a
car.
house? Oh, that's terrible. You're so selfish.
No,
Oh,
I live in a
Jesus.
house just to pay it off and then start my own real
Uh-huh.
estate company and just, all these other things. And then, yeah, so I could be happy with that.
Ah, so
And
enough
then
to
you feel these little bubbles of doubt. It's like, well, I know a yacht in my mind, these beliefs have kept me from the yacht. So I'm just saying,
ah,
what if I shoot for a yacht? What will I get? And then these little bubbles of doubt saying, well, you can't even make,
you get
you owe the
this.
IRS. Yeah.
This
These
is
little
what you get.
bubbles
The
come up.
conflict.
Yeah. And they
Yeah.
say, oh, you owe the IRS money. How can you
Hmm.
possibly pay off your house if you owe the IRS so much money?
Uh-huh. Okay, so you want to not owe the IRS money
Yeah.
and pay off your house. So
Yeah.
pay
And
off
be
the
comfortable.
IRS, pay off the house comfortable.
Yep.
And what's the relationship between comfortable money and yacht money?
The ability to do anything I want at any time.
Ah, yeah. So success. Yacht money really is your
Mm.
real yacht is being able to do what you want when you want.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a very different thing than yacht money, isn't it?
Mm.
Ah. So you want enough to be able to pay your bills and to be able to live your life, to do the things you want to do when you want to do them.
Right.
Okay. Now that's very different. Do me a favor, do that hand thing again. I want to. What do you notice about that? Now that yacht money is living your life money.
It's not as intense as a fight. It's still
Uh-huh.
conflict, but yet it's not as intense.
Okay, well that's interesting, isn't it? It's not as intense. And as it's not as intense, huh? Conflict. It's not as intense. What would you like this conflict to be instead? What would you like to have instead?
Mm.
Conflict.
I like to fully believe that I can choose the life I want.
You'd like to fully believe that you can choose the life you want.
Right. The
What's
the
standing in
thing,
the way?
what's the question?
What's standing in the way of that?
Doubt from the past. So like for instance, in the business, not a full story, just saying that I said okay, I think this is a good offer. This is a good deal. I'm going to put it out there. And it was just a dud. And it was disappointing to have that failure. And it's like, well, I guess I can't create my own reality if what I produce doesn't give me that reality.
Wait, wait. How many failures did you have?
Oh, life is full of failures. It's just that particular failure resonates with me as I'm talking about growing a
Ah,
business.
that failure. You're saying you put out one thing and you had one dud?
That one, and then I had another and another and another. And it's
Okay.
like, so how do I continue to push through all these duds? Because it's telling me, it's not reaffirming my faith. It's not, my work is not producing what I believed would be possible. Instead, I'm just producing all these rotten eggs. And it's like, how am I supposed to produce a golden egg if all I'm laying is rotten eggs?
Yeah. So far, you've produced rotten eggs,
Mm,
duds,
mm.
and you haven't produced the golden egg yet. So, how do you keep your faith? And what is it you'd like to have?
To lay a golden egg whenever I want.
To lay a golden egg whenever you want. What does that look like?
It looks like a calendar full of clients paying me good money and me setting up a way to orchestrate a way for people to get help at whatever their income level is, even if it's for free.
Ah,
And that's been the vision all along.
what
The
what
rotten
happened to
eggs,
what happened to conflict? Of
that was
wanting to
before
be
the rotten eggs.
well,
I felt that
yeah,
pureness, that vision that I can help both rich and poor. That was the
yeah.
vision. And then when I go to lay
That's
the egg, just foul smelling rotten.
okay. So foul smelling, rotten.
Mm.
All right. So we've gotten to this point where instead of wanting to be Jesus and he'll
Yeah.
everybody for free, and you don't want to be Jeff Bezos on the yacht. None of that matter. Neither of those. You want to help people who can afford to help. You who can afford to pay a full price. Have a what like a sliding scale type of thing for people who can't afford, or some other kind of product. Maybe even like you doing this free podcast, right? You give it away. You'll probably do other things that you give away, and you help people. Just like we're going to do this hypnosis at the end, right?
Mm.
And you're going to give that away.
Right.
Yeah, and I'm just going to give it away too. You're not paying me, all right?
Right. Right.
It's gonna help some people.
Right. I feel good about that.
I feel good about that too. I like helping people for free too.
Yeah.
So so now you're coming to a very different part of this. That conflict that was there. What happens is you look from this place back at that, wanting to be Jesus, wanting to own a yacht. Is it all just
It feels more unified than it was. Before it was totally just different.
yeah, it's
And
like
now it feels
conspiracies.
more unified, like Jesus on the yacht.
All right. All right. Feels more unified. And now you've got this place where you want to help people. You want to get paid. You want to have a calendar full of appointments where you're going and helping people, right? Yeah. And most people pay you. Some people can't. Yeah. You help people anyway. And whatever that looks like for you. I don't know. And the only real issue is that so far you've laid rotten eggs. Yeah. Now tell me more about rotten eggs.
It's where faith is so built up, whether you go to the Christians listening will recognize this, where you go to a church service, you hear the sermon, you're moved, you feel like you can literally do what Jesus said and move a mountain just by thinking it. And you have a vision, you feel like the vision has been given to you by the universe. You feel it feels so real. And then you open up the door and a brick falls on your head. That's what it feels like. It's like, well, why did I have the vision if a brick is just going to fall on my head?
A brick falls on your head. You had a vision. You could create this amazing. Yeah. And a brick falls on your head. What does that brick really mean to you?
It means reality,
Reality.
where it's like I have this universe, this vision, this pure utopia in my head. And
Ah,
then the brick, because of gravity, Newton's law, you can't change it,
uh-huh.
hits me in the head. It's like, well, I thought I can manipulate reality through my own conscious manifesting.
Ah,
I feel like the universe gave it to me, and now it's my job to
brick.
manifest it. And
Yeah.
then gravity comes and says, boink, no, I'm in charge.
A brick is
Yeah,
reality.
right.
Brick is gravity. Reality. So, what is the connection between the grand vision you talk
Yeah.
and reality?
I want to be Luke Skywalker lifting his X fighter out of the swamp.
Huh?
I don't want to be a dumb droid getting his head chopped off with a lightsaber. And that's what day-to-day life sometimes feels like. It's just like I'm a droid. I had no choice. It's the illusion of choice. I'm just beep, beep, beep. And then like I'm just a puppet of something. Beep,
Okay.
beep, beep. And it's like, oh, well, something gave me this vision to
Yeah.
heal people of all levels.
Yeah.
Something gave that to me. I feel it in my heart. And
Yes.
yet I continue to walk out the door and bricks just keep falling on my head. I'm like, well, when is this vision going to come to pass?
Huh.
It feels like I was lied to.
So, bricks falling on your head. And you're not Luke Skywalker, right?
I thought I was.
You thought
I
you
I
were.
feel like I
Okay.
was born. I
Uh-huh.
feel like I was born to be able to do things like
Oh,
that,
you
to
are?
manipulate
Ah,
reality.
to manipulate reality.
Mm.
How do people manipulate reality with bricks?
Now that's a damn good metaphor. Yeah, they take the brick and they build a house.
Ah, and when you take those bricks that are falling on your head anyway,
Yeah.
and you build a house out of them, what kind of house is this house going to be? And what will you do in it?
Well, it feels like a failing house. Brick feels like a failure.
Hmm?
Like if I try to build the yacht I want with a bricks, it's gonna fucking sink.
Yeah,
And then so it feels like everything that has to do with the brick is a sinking feeling of
really?
failing. It feels like the brick is failing. And yeah,
Ah,
I get that idea. Oh, okay,
right.
life gives you lemons, you make lemonade, a brick hits me on the head, build a house, but I don't want to be in a house. I want it that feels closed in to me versus I want to
Aha.
feel expansive.
So, what would you build instead of a house?
I feel like chucking the brick back up to whoever threw it and hit them in the head with it.
Have you seen the price of bricks lately?
Well, I don't have any need for a brick. I need fiberglass and metal for my yacht.
Aha. Aha. Ah.
You could call it a gift, I guess. The brick is a gift, but it's never been the gift I wanted.
No, sometimes it's not the gift you want. What does that have to do with reality?
It sucks. Like I want to be able to fulfill this mission inside of me.
Ah,
And why did the universe give me a mission that doesn't seem like it's possible to achieve?
so wait, I must be confused. You said your mission is to heal people.
Right, that's the vision.
Okay, so healing people, the kind of thing we do.
Right.
Does that take being able to lift TIE fighters, X-Wing fighters out of the muck?
Yeah, in my viewpoint, obviously not literally, but my viewpoint is
Ah,
that what's possible. We see that we can reduce the size of tumors. We can give certain type of blind people their sight back. That to me is pretty damn cool. And it doesn't feel
yeah.
like I'm living on a
Ah,
yacht doing that.
yeah. Do you need a yacht to be able to do?
It's a want. It's a
It's
want.
a want. Huh.
There's this vision that is this healer that I feel like I'm compelled to do. And then there's this desire. And I don't know where that desire came from, but it wants things. It wants material
Service.
things.
Yeah. Okay. So when you have things, what does that give you?
It's funny because it's the word that comes to mind is freedom. And yet
Yeah.
on the right hand, the light hand, the healing hand, that complete trust in the universe hand, it's freedom, but it's a faith. And
Yeah.
the thing is that faith hasn't been made. Like, how do I increase that faith? Like, if I want to go on this huge, beautiful trip to investigate something, how will it manifest? Versus over here, I think money is freedom on my left hand and the yacht hand, right?
Uh-huh.
That feels like freedom, and that
Free.
doesn't feel like trust in the universe. That feels like my money buys whatever I want. Versus on the right hand, it's my faith gets me whatever I want.
Uh-huh. Huh. So, faith and money. What does money have to do with faith?
It feels like if I had pure faith, I wouldn't even have to worry about money.
Huh.
And if I had pure money, I wouldn't worry about faith because I could just buy whatever I want.
Yeah. What happens when you have faith that you can make all the money you want?
I don't know what that feels like. It feels like earlier in my life, I had that faith. And then those bricks started knocking that faith out of my head.
Yeah. The bricks knock the faith out of your head. Right. So, what needs to happen?
I need to talk with Terance and see how we can reconcile that. Because like I want that faith. I want to I, there's a part of me that believes that if I just believed enough, it will happen. And
Yeah.
then that brick happens, and I'm like, damn, I thought it was real. Because I know intellectually our brains don't know the difference between the inside and the outside.
Uh-huh.
Like in the inside, it felt real. And
Yeah.
then open my eyes. It's like I feel my wallet full,
Uh-huh.
and then I look at it and it's empty.
Yeah.
So it's like, how can I have faith of a full wallet if every time I look at it, it's empty?
Yeah. You know, it's just dawning on me. And this is, we'll both laugh. But people of our age who grew up in the time we grew up in have all tried to use the force to pull something toward us, haven't we?
Of course, of course, of
And we've
course.
all realized at some point that we've got to get off our ass and do it ourselves, haven't we?
Right.
Yeah,
Man, that's such a brick to the head, man.
it's a brick to the head. Yeah.
Right.
And bricks are reality.
Hmm.
Yeah. And when you get hit in the head with reality, reality that you got to get up and do it yourself, what do you know then?
What I know is that pissed off state inside of me. It's like,
Ah,
why did the universe tell me that I can achieve this if I can't? And yet there's still a part of me that thinks I can, even though the brick hits me in the head every day. It's like in Peanuts, Charlie Brown gets up to go kick that damn football, and every time Lucy moves the ball, every
ah,
time. And that's what it feels like. It
ah,
feels like the universe says, go ahead, kick the ball.
yeah,
And then every time I go to kick it, the universe goes, yoink, no ball for
right,
you, man.
okay,
It's like, I promise, I'll hold the ball this time. You can kick it as hard as you want.
ah,
I take a running charge at it, yoink, and then I fall on my ass.
yeah, ah. So what does Charlie Brown need to do differently?
From my perspective, go take up saxophone or something, go play in the band.
Ah,
Maybe he wasn't meant to be a football player. Yet he wants to believe he is.
ah, that's interesting.
And to me, that's incredibly frustrating. If you want to be a football player, Charlie Brown, then I don't know, find a different partner. I have no idea.
Find a different partner. What would a different partner do differently?
Hold the ball.
Hold the ball. Yeah.
Yeah.
Lucy's kind of a. Hmm.
She's a dickhead.
Yeah. Okay. So finding a different partner. What's your version of that?
Well, to me, the universe is Lucy.
Ah, yeah.
And then so the universe says, here, I promise, Ryan, that you're going to be the greatest football player in this analogy ever. And just come kick this ball. I'll hold it for you. And I do the work, right?
Huh.
The universe gives me a vision. I do the work, and yet it fails. And then I'm like, why'd you do that, universe? Why'd you pull the ball from me?
Huh.
And so it's kind of hard to find a different partner when you're talking about the universe being your partner.
Wow. So this idea that the universe gives you a vision, you go to try to make that vision a reality, believing in it really hard,
Mm,
and it doesn't happen.
mm,
Lay an egg.
mm,
Huh. A rotten egg.
mm,
That means that the universe is your Lucy,
mm.
just yoinking the ball. Is that right? Do you really believe all that?
The funny thing is, that's what it feels like. And it feels like that's in my body, in my
Yeah.
subconscious, is
Yeah.
those beliefs.
Well,
And
that's
yet the super conscious in my vernacular
uh-huh.
continues to whisper, keep kicking.
Keep kicking.
Right.
Yeah.
But my body's like, why? What's the point? It's just going to be another failure.
Your
So I
body.
want to be able to align the inner feeling with the super feeling.
Yeah. All right. So this feeling in your body that says, "What's the point?" You've tried a bunch of times, laid eggs, kicked for the ball wasn't there. You land on your ass. Og.
Yeah.
Right. Um, and that feeling of what's the point? Can you point to it in your body?
I was doing it with my hands where it feels
Yeah.
all over, like
It's all
my
over.
lower chest and
Yeah.
abdomen region.
Okay. Lower
And then
chest.
actually, it's funny because I feel like there's a brick implanted in my head. The last one that fell on me, it feels like it's
Yeah.
still there, that brick.
Still there. Huh. So the brick is still there. Can you? Can you like show me the outline of the brick?
Yeah, I'm just gonna pull it out, man, because it
You're gonna,
like,
you're just gonna pull it out.
yeah, just pull
Oh,
it out, both hands, put it on the desk. There's the brick that hit me last time.
oh, what feels different now that you've pulled it out and put it on the desk in front of you?
Perspective, like,
Perspective.
right.
Tell me more about perspective.
Um, it feels like I can learn from it.
You can learn from it.
Right,
Huh. A brick. You can learn from it.
right.
Well, what happens when you build a bunch of learnings one on top of the other?
The rebel in me visualizes a pile of bricks over there in the corner. I just want to chuck this brick onto that pile. It's like, fuck building anything with those bricks because every brick hurt
Every brick hurt.
and I don't want to deal with them.
Yeah, sometimes that's how learnings are, aren't they?
Right.
Yeah. And yet, if you were to build something out of them,
I have no desire to build anything with them. Like I see the beauty in the pile of
beauty in
bricks.
the pile of
Yeah, as I look
bricks.
over and I can actually kind of like imagine the pile of bricks. And to me, that has a certain beauty to it because look at all that I've been through, look at all I've suffered for my
Uh-huh.
dream.
Yeah. Look at all you've been through. Look at all you've suffered for your dream. And there's a beauty to it. What happens next?
Next is I'm just going to sit with the vision of Jesus on the yacht.
Ah, ah. And as you sit with the vision of Jesus on the yacht, let us go ahead. Let your eyes close. That's right. And you can sit with the vision. Jesus on the yacht. And I don't know what you might notice about the yacht or about Jesus or the temperature of the air, the scent of the ocean as you sit with this vision. And I have no idea of Jesus on the yacht who has said all these wise, wise things, has something for you. Or if he's just going to enjoy the yacht and the weather, I have no idea. And I don't know if you're unconscious. Might give you some bit of understanding or revelation for that matter. Or whether you might receive inspiration. Oh, and what's that that's happening now? Yeah. And whatever that is, that's for you. And you take that in whatever way is appropriate for you. I don't know what it means. as you sit with the vision on the yacht. And whatever happens can happen and will happen for your benefit. Yeah. Go ahead and sit with a vision only until you've got what you need. And when you realize that you've got what you need, come back and join us in the room.
Yeah, that was good, man. Yeah, that was a fun little trip.
Nice. Like
Yeah.
to share, or you want to keep
Um,
going? People, either way is fine.
it's interesting looking at, I don't know what to call it. We'll just call it Jesus on the yacht. But it's interesting feeling that and feeling the joy that comes up from that and the
Yeah.
laughter. I find it funny,
Uh-huh.
right? I find it amusing. I think even when I first said it, rewind 20, 30 minutes ago, whatever it was, when I said Jesus on the yacht, you laughed. And it's a funny image, Jesus
It
on the
is.
yacht, right?
It is.
Um, and yet it feels authentic to who I am. And so that feels good. And at the same time, as things came in my head about what I can do to begin walking towards Jesus on the yacht. And unfortunately, I'll still need a dock. I'm quite not at the walking on water part yet, but I'll need a dock at least for the yacht.
Docs are good for that. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Cool, man. So that was real fun. I
Mm-hmm.
loved how you blended all those elements, those four parts of, you got the direct, indirect hypnosis, you got the clean language, and you got the NLP
Mm-hmm.
in there. Um, which is nice. It's a nice blending of all of them. What would you say? Well, I guess first for the listeners, what got you into hypnosis? How, like, you've been doing this a while. What
Oh,
originally got you into it? Like, did you have something in your life where you're seeking it and you got the answer through hypnosis?
I'd love to tell you that it was some kind of wonderful, noble thing
Yeah.
like that.
Right, right.
And I would, but I'd be full of shit.
Yeah.
So, the reality, once upon a time, I was terrible with women.
Yeah.
And I got better. Oh, look, I gave away the end of the story. But I started getting into this pickup artist routine.
Yeah.
Started learning
Yeah.
about their stuff, and some of it was gross, and I didn't want to do it, and some of it was really benign, like learn to strike up
Right.
conversations with people. So
Right.
when you do approach a woman that you'd like to get to know, you're not like "Blah, blah, blah, I don't know how to talk to people.
Yeah.
Hi,
Yeah.
my name is Floyd. You probably won't like me. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yes, good stuff like that. But then they had this thing that they said you can learn hypnosis and use it to make women sleep with you. And I said,
Right.
"Whoa, that's really interesting." And I
Yeah.
kind of
That's
started the ball rolling, but then I realized, hey, wait a second, dude. Make women sleep with you. Well, you can do that with a gun or a knife too, and it's not who you want to be, you know.
yeah. Yeah.
So, but then I had this other little epiphany that said, hey, wait a second. If I could use it for these, awful and creepy purposes,
Yeah.
couldn't I use it to just make myself someone that, women might want to sleep with?
Right. Right.
And yeah, I started doing that. Kind of worked through
Yes.
my own crap and my neuroses and my shit, and
Right.
became a lot more comfortable in my own skin.
Mm.
And well, lo and behold, yeah, turns out that turning yourself into a reasonably well-adjusted, decent guy does work wonders. Yeah,
It sure does.
and cooking. If you
Oh,
can, if
yes.
you can cook, they beat a path to your door.
Right. Well, I'm
I,
still
I
working
can
on
cover.
I'm still working on that manifesting someone making my eggs for me every
Uh,
morning.
oh,
It's a
oh,
work in
my girlfriend
progress.
manifested that. It's
Yeah.
me.
Yeah, my fiance manifested too. So
Nice, nice.
like what yeah, so it's like a battle of the manifesting, I guess. And she's a better manifester than I am, I guess. Yeah.
I don't mind doing the cooking. I like it actually.
And it's interesting you talk about the picking up women because the same thing that happens in those pickup artist books is also interestingly being tested in the medical field now, and it's particular that building of rapport,
Yeah,
that rapport. And there was an interesting study where emergency room doctors, where they would just mirror the breath of people coming in, just their
right.
breathing rate, just doing nothing else, everything else the same, just mirroring the rate of the breathing of their patients,
Okay,
increase the outcomes of those patients.
I bet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just a simple thing like mirroring body language and stuff like that.
Uh-huh.
And then that works for picking up women. And it's to me, picking up women is kind of more badass than raising an X-wing out of a swamp. It's like solving that mystery. And my path down that route was through stand-up comedy, which I feel
Okay.
has a lot of hypnotic things in it, as well as like
Hmm,
stand-up improv and stuff.
nice. Very
Yeah.
nice. Okay.
But that's cool. Thanks for sharing that. And then what was your big aha moment
Um,
when it finally clicked?
well, even though I've been making a living, making and selling these hypnosis recordings,
Yeah.
and doing really well with that, I got into Mike Mandel hypnosis. I didn't join yet. I just did their 5 day challenge that they had going
Mm.
on. They taught me this one technique, a meta pattern, which I'm going to demonstrate a little bit of in this when I do my hypnosis. And that night, I learned it in like an hour. They taught it. It was so good. I took it that night to my friend who her husband had died, and her
Mm.
husband, well, like me, did all the cooking,
Yeah.
and she hadn't cooked in 30 years, so she'd go into the kitchen to make food, and she'd have a panic attack. She was having big panic attacks just from
Oh,
from her husband dying and all this stuff, and now she was responsible for everything. And
yeah.
so I used that ADAC pattern that night,
Mm.
and like a light switch, just gone. It took 15, 20 minutes, and she has never had that problem again.
Oh, wow.
Just gone.
Wow.
I'd never done anything like it in my life. I'd never seen anything like it in my life. I did not
Yeah.
know that hypnosis could be that effective, that quick, and just poof, problem gone. And I was like,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Next day, Chris Thompson is like, all right, we're not going to make a big pitch. If you want to get into the MMHA, it's
Yeah.
X. I think it was like $2,000 for, lifetime membership, or
Yeah.
like $50 a month. I was like, shut up and take my money.
Yeah.
I'm done. Yeah, I'm lifetime. Boom. Yeah, and I got in that day. Yeah, that was
Yeah.
that was a light bulb.
I agree with you on the Mike Mandel Hypnosis Academy. And I've had Chris on here, I had Mike on here, and
Nice, nice.
yeah, it's by far the best thing. There's just so much content, and it's not just them. There's two things that stand out to me that people don't realize is one is the practice rooms.
Yes.
Like just being able to get in there 24 hours a day,
Yeah.
finding people, the plenty of people to work with is amazing. And the other thing that's really amazing is just this wealth of library of other people in the business and
Yeah.
their perspectives.
Yes.
So you have the top hypnotists in the world, and
Yeah.
there's even some that are no longer with us in those
Yeah.
recordings,
Yeah.
and just a wealth of knowledge and perspectives, and really get a whole angle of hypnosis. Absolutely
Oh yeah.
brilliant. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah. It blows me away that they bring in people who are their competitors,
Right. Right.
but
Exactly.
they're friends with everybody. All
Right.
the greatest hypnotists in the world are coming by
Yeah.
and doing 90 minutes. That's
Yep.
the standard 90-minute to teach you something amazing.
Yep.
Teach me something amazing.
Yep.
I love them. And then, and it's like a 5 minute, hey, here's this program I've got going. You can join.
Yeah.
I've joined a few of them, and I've learned from a lot of those people.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah. There's so much to learn, and it's so
So much to
good.
learn. Now you
It's,
mentioned that doing that with her and that quick resolution.
yeah.
What other cool things, like great stories that you've witnessed?
Oh,
What's something that pops up to your head?
man. One of my favorites. So I worked with this person who had been a an army paratrooper and a like first responder person. So they were on scene when there was this big major accident in the military, like a fighter jet or something flew and the wing clipped a fuel tank of in
Mm,
midair. I don't know
yeah.
how that happened, but clipped the fuel tank and burning
Yeah.
fuel got dropped from a big height on
Oh
all
man.
these guys, all
Oh
these
man.
soldiers. So this person was like one of the first responders. They're bringing in all these guys who were burning,
Yeah.
and they got all this stuff going on. And they're like one of the memories this person had was an 18-year-old crying for his mommy.
Mm,
His hair is burned, his skin is burned, he's all fucked up. And
right.
so this person had 30 years later, if they smell the smell of burning hair, they have a
Mm,
total meltdown. And they were in like the BDSM scene. So
yeah.
they're at a party. Somebody's doing some kind of wax play or firework or
Yeah.
something, and there's smell of burning hair, and
Mm,
they have to jump in their car. They're driving home, crying and sobbing hysterically for 2 hours of driving, and they were just all
yeah.
messed up. So I saw them post about it. I was like, let me help you out.
Yeah.
So we do an hour. And when it's done, I ask them, okay, well, here's what I want you to do. And
Mm,
the whole time, this person's brain is saying, this shit ain't gonna work. This is bullshit.
right.
This ain't gonna work.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I say,
Yeah.
okay, here's what I want you to do. I want you to clip a little bit of your hair and put it in a candle. And they're just like, you gotta be kidding me. No, go ahead. All right. Stinks.
Mm, yeah.
Problem solved.
Yeah.
Yeah, just totally done.
So two questions there. I
Yeah,
love the part where you're basically telling them you don't have to believe it. I hear a lot of those stories.
yeah.
You don't have to believe a thing.
Ah,
And it there's a little bit of confliction there between what we as hypnotists know about threshold. Like you think, oh, the perfect person that's full of belief has to come in, but that's so far from the truth. You don't
ah,
have to believe a damn thing. Just sit
no.
there, play around with it. The
If Yeah,
What's that?
the only caveat is if you'll do what I say.
Right.
So if I say, okay, imagine you're walking
Mm,
on a beach, and
right.
uh, no, I'm not going to imagine that. Okay, I can help you.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's I'm not a
Yeah.
wizard. I'm not using the force.
Right. Now the other part I
Yeah,
wonder
if you do the
is,
process, you'll get the results.
yeah, exactly, because that's just how it works.
Well, the mind affects the brain.
Mm,
People
mhm.
don't realize that. They think that the mind is just an emanation of the brain. No, the door swings both ways.
Right.
You
Right.
think certain thoughts, your brain will adjust. I mean, if you think
Mm,
horrible thoughts for 20 years, you're going to have a miserable life.
yeah.
On the
Yeah.
other hand, if you think nice, happy thoughts, your body will do nicer things.
Mm, absolutely.
I mean, you can look at people who have been, thinking miserable thoughts for 50 years of their lives. They
Yeah.
don't look so great. They don't look so great.
Right. Right. And I wonder what compelled you to say I can help.
I
Because
just,
you look at stats, like
yeah.
let's say smoking cessation or whatever.
Mhm.
Some hypnotists have better stats than others, and yet no one is 100% success.
Right.
So I was just wondering what made you say I can help.
Oh, that's that kind of thing. A trauma, a PTSD from a
Hmm.
specific event. That's just so fucking easy.
Mm,
And I felt bad for this person, and I knew that if I this was on a social media thing. So I
Hmm.
knew that if it didn't work, they'd probably be like, "Oh my God, the Terrence guy, blah blah blah."
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So you had that
but
kind of
I
like,
was not worried about that at all. I knew how this was going to go before I sent the message.
mm,
That that kind of stuff is easy. If you come by and you've got a phobia, you're
yeah,
afraid of
yeah.
snakes, you're afraid of heights, PTSD from a single event, that's basically the same thing. Not that we can't do chronic PTSD. I worked with a person who had spent 3 years watching his wife die of cancer, and
Mm,
like all their friends abandoned him because
mm,
she didn't want to see any of her friends. So she made him tell all the friends that, oh yeah, she can't, she's just not up to it. And then afterward, not tell them after she died, even
mm.
do not tell them that it was me saying not wanting to. So all his friends abandoned him. So he had this chronic PTSD. He
Yeah.
20 years later, he's sleeping 2 hours a night. Guy
Hmm.
hadn't slept more than 2 hours in 20 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, that took 3 sessions.
And what do you see the common thread is in helping people with PTSD? Like is there a certain technique? Is there a certain like protocol? Like what do you
Well,
usually lean towards doing?
first thing I'm going to do is the rewind technique.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll do some mental loop to gain
Mm.
rapport, to
Right.
get into their
Hmm.
world and to get into the loop of how they're
Yeah.
creating the problem.
Mm.
Because if you've read Trance's People Live, Trance's
Mm.
People Live, amazing book. It took me a
Mm.
year to read it because I had
Mm.
every time I'd read like 2 paragraphs, I'd have to play with something,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know,
yeah, yeah. Yeah.
into the lab. Okay,
Yeah.
but yeah, you make sense of how they're creating this
Yeah.
effect. It's not what happened to you; it's what you're doing with it afterward that creates this hypnotic loop that you feel like you're still.
Right.
They feel like they're still there,
Right.
but yeah, figuring out how they're creating it, okay. But then a simple rewind technique is a great place to start.
Mm.
So for this person, I had them make a movie, a montage,
Yeah.
like a training montage in a Rocky movie or something like that. I had to make
Yep.
a montage of the entire
Mm.
scene. And then I, threw them in the movie theater, had them,
Yep.
disassociate from it as you go forward, associate into it, run backwards, going backward
Mm.
in time, see what you saw, feel what you,
Yep.
and that strips all the emotion out.
Mm.
There's a
Hmm.
reason we do it.
Right, right.
It strips the emotion out. I had them do it like 7, 8 times or whatever.
Mm.
First disassociated, you're watching yourself doing the thing, and then into watching
Yeah.
yourself doing the thing. But on top of that, some of a bunch of ETL, a bunch of other stuff.
Mm.
After
Hmm.
the first session, he slept like 4 hours a night, which he
Yeah.
was like, "Oh my God, I never felt so
Yeah.
good." Yeah, but then after 3 sessions, had him right as rain.
It still amazes me
Right?
seeing that. Just like sometimes, and it just sometimes what amazes me is the amount of time it takes
Yeah.
because, I don't know if you've experienced it in my life. I've seen therapists, traditional therapists for 20 years and
Yeah.
feel like I'm maybe marginally better. And then hypnosis, like for instance, just like the guy you mentioned sleep, and that's what made me think of it. A guy had been seeing a psychologist for 10 years about his sleep.
Yeah.
He just comes to my office just to shoot the shit. I just have a conversation with him to clean language and whatnot. And within 15 minutes, he feels like he could go to sleep. And then he texts me the next day, slept the whole night. It's like,
Yeah.
and it's like, how does it, like, it's like, it almost feels like magic, but we know it's not because it's repeatable. It's like a science. If you can replicate the experiment, then
Well, I'll tell you a story
yeah.
that will explain it. So I had this favorite pizza place near my house, Commerce, Georgia. Yeah, and you wouldn't think of rural Georgia as having good pizza, but I'm originally from New York City. I like good pizza. But these guys were from the Bronx.
Yeah.
So the guy
Oh,
who owns
okay.
it, he's in Athens, but he had this satellite,
Yeah.
restaurant, Little Italy. So I go there one day, and they know me. I was going there all the time, and they're freaking out. The two guys, they're like, "Oh my God!" They're running around trying to get things under control, and I'm like, "What's going on?" So I go back there, and there's a pipe burst, a, a PVC pipe
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
shooting water straight up, and they're trying to cover it with towels and put down
Yeah.
buckets and all this stuff. And I say, "Where's the shutoff?"
Yeah.
And yeah, you're like, they didn't know how to deal with a leak.
Oh man, yeah.
So where's the shutoff? We don't know. So I'm like,
Mm.
where's the basement? We don't know that either. I'll find the basement. There's got to be a basement.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I go down in the basement, and that's when, that's where I found the shutoff. I
Yes.
shut off the water, and
Yes.
suddenly, okay, now you can fix the problem.
Yep.
You can't do shit without shutting off the water
Yeah.
first. You got to go down the basement.
Oh man, I love that metaphor.
Yeah.
I love it.
You
And
can
it
make
feels,
pizza upstairs all day long,
yeah, yeah,
but sometimes you got to go down the basement.
yeah. And I know that some people, I'm not telling anyone here to not take medication. For me, it
Yeah.
felt like my water was overflowing and they were trying to drop these like nuclear pill bombs down in there to clog
Uh-huh.
up the water
Yeah.
when it's like just shut it off. It's like, and then with hypnosis, it feels like, oh, now I have the knob. If I want water, I could turn it on
Yeah.
and off to whatever I want it to be.
Uh-huh. Yeah. That's not to say that we've got all the answers. We don't.
Right,
If somebody
right.
comes along and they can't make boundaries because once upon a time their mother said, "You never say no to me," and they just generalize
Mm,
that to never say no to anybody, and now,
mm,
and we neutralize that. Okay, boom,
yeah,
one session, just
right,
something like that. Sometimes it's 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and they go, "Oh, I just had this memory," and
right.
it's gone. But that person then may say, "I have no idea how to make boundaries,"
Mm.
and you know what I can do for that? Jack and shit. I have no training, no
Right,
qualifications. I have no business
right.
charging anybody money to teach them how to set boundaries because
Mm,
as you might as well just go down to the bar and sit next to some random dude at the bar and go, "Hey, buddy, how
yeah,
do I set boundaries?" "Oh, well, buy me a beer and I'll tell you my secret." It doesn't. I don't know anything for that. No, you go see
yeah,
you go see a therapist.
yeah,
Therapists are good for that. They're trained for that. That's what
yeah.
they're great at that. The problem comes when the therapist goes, "Yeah, I can help you with your drama."
Mm,
With what?
right,
Unless they have like EMDR. And what's
right, right.
EMDR? It's Team UNLP.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah. So yeah, they've got techniques, but there are techniques that's what we do all day
yeah,
long.
yeah.
I don't study psychotherapy all day long, and if you're a psychotherapist and you took a 2 week course in hypnosis, I probably more than know more a little more about hypnosis than you do, just like you know a hell of a lot more about psychology than I do.
Right, right.
Okay, yeah, two different fields.
Yeah,
Really, both of us really good at two different things.
right.
Yeah, some hypnotists, they do the 15-minute thing that the therapist has been plugging away at for 20 years,
Yep.
and they think, "We know everything. We're the best."
Oh, right, right,
No, we don't. We know that we're the best for that. When the
right.
problem is in the unconscious, that's our field.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I love that.
my
I
little
love that so much.
soapbox.
And then
Thanks.
as you're talking about going to the pub with the bar, another thing popped in my head about I saw something about bartenders and their effectiveness at affect being therapists of sorts. Maybe not one that'll say, here's how to create boundaries or those particular nuances, but I would be curious about just the effect of someone feeling less stress
Huh?
sitting with a therapist or sitting with a bartender. I wonder.
Well, typically, you get more beer in the bar with
Yeah,
the therapist.
right. Well, yeah, I
There is
wonder.
that. There is
Yeah,
that.
there is that. Yeah, more beer in the bar.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So thank you for taking all your time with us today. I appreciate working through. That was really cool
My pleasure.
seeing what you do live. And I
Thanks.
wonder, is there anything before we get to the little hypnotic gift for the listeners and viewers?
Yeah.
Is there anything when I ask, is there a message that you want to tell the world? Not that you have to over intellectualize it, but is there something that just bubbles up in the spur of the moment that you want the whole world to know?
Oh man, I think I just said it. when you've got a problem that it's in the unconscious, this, why can't I get myself to do this thing? Or how can I stop doing this thing? And you just can't get yourself to do it. And you don't know why. Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's us.
Yeah.
Come talk to us. We'll set you up. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah, and it can be used for a lot of things that most people don't think about when they think about hypnosis. I like working with people with ADHD, people who can't get themselves started, people who get distracted, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Get great results with it. Trauma, of course, I do love doing trauma, and it's so easy that it's just like, yeah, yeah, sure, let's just take care of that.
Right.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
yeah. And
Beautiful. And then
as
for
people
everyone,
do smoking and weight loss and all that kind of stuff,
yeah.
confidence, yeah,
Yeah.
we're great at that.
Beautiful.
Yeah, really
And
cool
then
stuff.
for those listening, of course, we'll have a way to get in touch with you, Terrence, in the
Nice.
description. We'll have links down there.
Cool.
Beautiful,
Very
beautiful
cool.
links.
Very cool.
All right. And then for those listening, um, thank you, first of all. And if you would like, if you're in a safe, comfortable place and you won't be bothered just for a small bit of time,
Mhm.
great. And if you are somewhere where you're driving, maybe hit pause.
Yeah,
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 that's a good idea.
yeah. If you're watching this, you probably shouldn't be driving and watching anyhow, but thank you nonetheless. I appreciate it. All right, Sir
Yeah.
Terrence, all yours.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. All right, so what we're going to do is a little bit of a demonstration of that meta pattern. And I'm going to do it a little bit differently than I would one-on-one because I'm not going to be able to get your answers and stuff like that. But what I will do is I'll guide you into the problem state. And I'm going to ask you to think about a specific thing. Not the biggest problem in the world, but a specific thing that maybe you've been having a little issue with. Maybe you're doing something you'd like to not be doing, or you're not doing something you'd like to be doing, or you're feeling something that you'd like to not be feeling, or ruminating on something, whatever it is, something like that. And I'm going to guide you into that, what we call the problem state, which is when you're feeling that stuff and what you feel in your body when you've got that problem active. I don't want you thinking about the problem. I want you being in the problem. And that's only going to be for a minute because then we're going to toss it onto a television screen and disassociate from it so that you don't feel it. And then I'm going to take you into a little trance. And then from there, I'm going to help you find the resources inside yourself so that you can deal with that, whatever it is, very effectively. And then we're just going to connect those resources up to that problem and, well, make the sucker just disappear. All right, now. And this is the meta pattern of NLP and Mike Mandel hypnosis. We call that the ADAC pattern. That's great stuff. So now, I'd like you to think about that problem and imagine that. And just get a sense of what it is and what it feels like when you're in that specific situation. And notice what tells you that you're in that situation. Yeah. Notice what starts it off. And then what you see when you're in that. Notice what you hear, both outside and in your mind. What's that inner voice saying? What's that thing you believe about it? What do you imagine as you imagine being there? And then notice what you feel in your body as you're in there. And as you notice that feeling in your body, and you notice what you know about it, and what do you really believe about all that? And then, as you're feeling it, now I want you to imagine a little television screen, a tiny little one, like 8 feet away from you, and just put that situation into that screen so that you can see yourself in there and see what's going on. But make it fuzzy and grainy and black and white. And any sound can be coming out of a tinny little speaker that's kind of muffled by like a pillow. And just let the feelings all go into that screen, into that you in the screen. That you can have the feeling. Well, you just let it go. Because that's all you needed. And now in a moment, but not just yet, I'm going to ask you to roll your eyes back in your head. And here's a little weird thing I'm going to ask you to do. I'm going to ask you to flutter your eyelids as you roll your eyes all the way back. You're going to take a deep breath, flutter your eyelids. And the reason I'm going to have you do that in a moment is because your unconscious doesn't know the difference between the way a person can go into trance. And when a person goes into trance, they start to flutter their eyelids. That happens automatically as you're going into trance, but your unconscious doesn't know the difference between whether you start to go into trance first and then flutter your eyelids as a result of the trance, or if you flutter your eyelids and go into trance as a result of the fluttering your eyelids. It doesn't know the difference, and that's perfect. So go ahead now, take a deep breath, roll your eyes all the way back, flutter those eyelids, roll your eyes all the way back, flutter those eyelids, and then as you let it out, just close those eyes and relax even more. And now again, open your eyes, roll your eyes way back in your head, take a deep breath, let those eyelids flutter, and close your eyes and drop even deeper now. That's right. And the more you relax and the more you let go, the deeper you go, the better you feel, and the better you feel, the deeper you go. And as you sink into this deep trance now, go ahead and notice what it feels like to let go completely. And what do you notice as you're letting go? Oh, and how does relaxation go deeper? And now, as you remember that problem that you used to have, I want you to, if you would, just ask, what would you like to have happen instead? And you'll ask yourself that, and I'm not going to know the answer. So you'll ask yourself, and you yourself will hear the answer in your own voice, in your own mind. And as you explore what you'd like to have happen instead, how you'd like to act, how you'd like to think, how you'd like to feel, get a sense of that. And notice as you go ahead and step into that reality and feel what it's like to feel this, to believe this, to be able to do this, or to refrain from doing that. Notice what it is that's different. And how does that feel when you've got this different? And as you've got this different way of being, or feeling, thinking, notice what you'll see that will be different. What you'll hear that's different. Notice what you'll say to yourself that's different. And how will you feel in your body? And as you begin to feel this now, breathe it in. Breathe and notice the way you breathe when you're doing it this way. Get a sense of how you'll hold your body differently with these resources, because you have done many different things in your life. And you know how to do many things, and you have many abilities and skills, as well as things that have yet to develop within you, but that are always there and always have been ready. And things that you're ready to develop now, thanks to all the experiences you've had before, and your unconscious knows how to give you these abilities, these talents and skills, and the ability to do this. And as you breathe it in, look back at that problem on that little screen. And what does this you that you are now know about that problem? And how does this you see that problem differently? And as you notice what's different and what's changing from here, how can you imagine dealing with this differently? And what does that look like? And what can you do differently? And how will you find yourself doing that? And as you're doing that now, and you find yourself doing that effortlessly, what will you notice feels different in your body? And how do you feel different now? And as you're feeling what you're feeling, seeing this new way of being, what is this experience that you're having now? And I don't know if you know, but as you imagine this experience, your brain doesn't know the difference between imagining and really doing it. So it's as if you're practicing being a different way. And that's why this is so effective. Just one of the reasons. And as you experience doing it this way, and notice, how is this different now? And I wonder, as you take in this experience, doing it differently, what does that lead you to believe differently? And how do you look at that whole situation now in a totally different fashion? And now look at that screen. See that you that used to do things that way. And now, take all these things that you have now and go ahead and share them with that you on the screen. The different way of being, the different way of feeling, the understanding, any realizations, epiphanies that have come up for you, and it may come up because your unconscious is exploring different possibilities now, aren't you? And as you share that with this you on the screen, see how this you on the screen can behave differently, can think differently, can feel differently. And I wonder what's connecting in different ways. And how is this changing for you now? And now, as you notice this you on the screen, doing this totally differently, having a totally different experience in a wonderful way. And you realize just how easy it is now. Go ahead and bring that you and the screen back into your body, into you, and bring all this experience now, this change deep inside. And as you let it go deep inside now. This change is yours, and it's yours to keep. So keep the change. And only as soon as your unconscious has fully taken in all these wonderful things for yourself and made all the changes that are good for you to make, I'd like you to go ahead and come all the way back to now.
Beautiful, Terrence. Yeah, I hope everyone enjoyed that little journey as much as I did.
Well, thank you, Ryan. I
And thank you
appreciate
so much for being here.
it. Oh, my
And
pleasure.
anyone that wants to work with Terrence, again, the links will be in the description.
Ah, fantastic.
Thank you.
Well, thank you very much.